Live.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay, cool.
Hey.
Hey,
Hi, everybody.
everybody. Welcome to Awaken to Joy. We have another episode for you today. Today, we are chatting to Melekta. So, just say hi to everyone and you can explain who you are to the crew.
All
But a lot
right.
of people already know you. Let's do this
Awesome.
again.
Okay, great. Well, hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Uh, like Shem said, my name is Melekte. I've been part of the community here since, I don't know, like September, maybe? I don't know. When did you guys start? Pretty early.
Yeah. Yeah, you were early
Yeah.
as well.
And so my handle when I go on is Musings of Remembrance, if you, right, because you don't really see people's names on there. A little bit about me. I work as the Great Unlock producer. We've been working with Shem and Amundi now for a couple months. That
Yeah.
was great. So super aligned. So I'm super happy to be here. I can tell you more if when we're ready.
Yep, we'll have a
Okay.
conversation with you. I'm really excited about this because I feel like those who already know you, it's like, yeah, great. But I feel like your story is so closely linked to everybody. So I'm just going to unpack it with you. That's what this conversation is going to be about.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, so let's start at Little Melekta. Like, where were you born? Like, what was your upbringing like? How was your relationship with like your idea around life, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So I was born in Ethiopia. I was there for about 2 years with my mom and my older brother. I have a brother that's a year older than me, and my dad was in London during that time because he was going to school there. He was getting his PhD in math. So we were at two. We moved to London to be with him. So it was my mom, my dad, and my brother and I, and we were there for about I think 3 4 years. Moved, and then we moved to California when I was in first grade, and grew up in California. And I was there for until I was about 26, and then moved to the East Coast where I am now. I live in Maryland, like in the
yeah,
DC metro area, um, and been here for I don't know, going on 20 years soon. So, what is that? Growing up, so most of my childhood that I remember is in California. I grew up in San Diego, which is kind of right at the bottom of California, right
mm,
by Mexico. Grew up very religious. My parents, my whole family went to church every Sunday, Bible study during the week. Anytime the family got together, we having some kind of prayer and preaching and all that good stuff. So that was definitely a big part of my upbringing, and something we just always did, right? So it was just kind of
yeah,
part of my life that way. And we had a lot of family that would come live with us. Like we were like kind of the first to move to America, so a lot of our family like stayed in our house. So growing up,
yeah,
I just had a lot of family around, like aunts, cousins, distant folks, and so we just always had someone around. And and it seemed like 90% of them were like super religious. That was just kind of what it was
just
like.
the vibe.
That was the vibe. Yeah.
How did you take to it as a kid? Like, were you just, did you just, let me think about this. Did you like go along with it, or is it something that you believed in, or was it like once you got older, you left it behind? Because I've had friends where, yeah, we've grown up all super
Hmm.
religious, but then some of them have then become, you know, born again and they've just gone their own path down there. Like, when did you make
Right.
your own path into your
Where I am.
chosen religion? Like,
Right,
at
right.
first, yeah.
I think growing up, I just accepted it as this is what we are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember even like as a little girl thinking, wow, we're so lucky to have been born in a Christian family because if you weren't, that sucks because you're going to hell, Like it's, we were just,
Ow.
it was just a given to me, right? So like it was the story that was told and I bought it 100%. Um,
Yeah,
there were things like I didn't understand though. Like for some reason, the concept of salvation never really stuck with me. It just like I understood the whole being safe and saved, but like
Yeah.
salvation just didn't click, you know. And then just some of the story, I don't know. It was one of those. It is what it is. I'm not going to really question it too much. Um, and that was when I was younger. But then in high school, I think I definitely made a very conscious decision to really lean into it and to
Mm.
like learn the Bible. Like I've read almost the whole Bible, like the New Testament definitely like multiple times, and like even in the Old Testament, a lot of those books I've like read those, and it was just what I did. And from about like 16 to 20, I was just super into church, and it was a very social thing. It was, and I, I had a friend at school that was like, "Oh, come to my church," and it was just, a bit fundamentalist, like this
Yeah.
is what we believe, and you hang out with church people, and you date church people. You don't do things outside of like the church, and so
Yeah.
that was me for like, a solid 4 years. And then in college, when I was 20, I was like, I'm kind of missing out on a lot. And it didn't fit anymore. And it wasn't necessarily like I was like, I don't believe in this,
Mm.
or I don't think this is right. It was just, there was a whole life that I'm like seeing other people live that I felt like I was missing out on, and experiences. And I was like, and then, you had Jesus, who like, you don't hear anything about his like 20s, right? It was
No.
just, so it's like, I don't know what Jesus was doing at that time. So let me go figure out what I want to do almost. But it wasn't like, and I would still kind of go to church every once in a while.
Mm.
But it was more like, I don't know, I was used to it, right? Like they had really good music, and that was fun.
Yeah.
And I didn't like really walk away from it. Maybe probably like when I was 26, I moved to the East Coast. I kind of moved away from my family for the first time,
Yeah.
and I just didn't go to church. Like that just wasn't something I made like an effort to do. And then definitely got more into the science bit of things, and
Okay.
maybe felt a little agnostic. I didn't, and it was more like it can't just be one way to do this, right? Like it can't just be one path. It makes no sense. Like the logic wasn't there. And I think I was leaning more into logic and make it make sense. And it was just something I would now do with my, when I would go home,
Yeah.
and then did
I
that for
feel
about,
you.
20 years. And then now I'm here. So I think I transitioned
Okay.
from that a little bit. Well, not really transitioned away, but kind of leaned into something a bit more now. Yeah.
So, what moment do you think it was like you started? Oh, do you know? I don't think there's any one moment when you're going through this process. It's like a whole growth thing. It's
Yeah.
like a never-ending growth. But set that aside. I mean, I've had conversations with you about beings. So, how do you get from how do you
there,
get from over there to
right.
where you are now? Like, was there one turning point, or was it just like a snowball effect? Like,
I think it was
as
like
you,
a
you
five,
know,
6 year period of finally dealing with my inner stuff, you know? And I think it started when I was pregnant. So I have two kids. I have
yeah,
an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old. And when I was pregnant with my younger son, um, we started doing therapy, and I like started seeing a therapist consistently. And it's so funny because like this therapist, I used to go in person because this is pre-COVID,
yeah.
and his office was full of crystals and like the chakra charts and this and that. And
Where did you
you
find
can,
him?
it's just, right. He just kind of showed up, right? And it was not an intentional thing, and it wasn't anything I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, I like play with the little rocks and but it wasn't anything I connected with, and it wasn't any, and he could pick up on that. So it wasn't something that was part of our kind of like therapeutic practice. But doing therapy consistently for maybe 3, 4 years, I
Yeah.
really started to face kind of some of my shadows. And it's like maybe like 2 years in, he was like, all right, let's work on your shadow. And I had never heard of that. And it was
Yeah.
a big process to figure out what that meant for me. Cause there was a lot of like, I had a lot of distortions in just kind of how I saw myself, how I would appreciate myself. Like, there was like he had me do an activity once, which was like, write out what you think your shadow side is. And I like wrote
Oh.
this long journal entry about how I think my shadow side is um, that I think I'm too like good, like my pride, like. And he's like, and I read this whole thing, like I really like stepped into this,
Mm.
and I read it to him, and he was like, "That's not your shadow." He's like, "That's your light." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And it was this whole, like, I didn't understand that, like, it was like in church you're told to be humble, right? To be meek, and like I really took that on as like one of the deadly sins. You can't be too proudful. You can't be too proud in who you are. And that, like, I really went too far with that and got to a space of like not feeling like I deserved things. Like there was this like I had to work for everything. I had to prove myself in everything, and how it's like, I don't, you just feel like a fraud, and feel like you, in the spaces that I was in, I would just have
Yeah.
to like over give and over commit. And that was
Makes
really
you a
my
better
life.
person.
Yeah. And everything I did, it was like, let me give and give and give, and over compensate for this. And I just was realizing this feeling of not deserving and not loving myself in that way.
Yeah.
So that
I
was the
can
beginning.
relate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see why that would be the beginning.
Yeah.
Once you look at
Right.
that, you're pretty much like, ow.
Yeah, and this, I
Now I
had
see.
nothing at this point, no spiritual nothing. Like I didn't look at moon cycle. Like I didn't. Like I knew I was an Aquarius, but that's all I knew. Like I didn't know what that meant. I just had people that would say, "Oh, you're a typical Aquarius," and I just was like, "Okay, sure." You know.
um
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about the idea of devotion because it sounds a lot like
Mhm.
that. So basically, you devoted to this religion, family values, I guess, cultures. Um, is there a time where you questioned everything right now, or you never questioned it, or you
Growing up.
actually decided, like growing up, you decided, you know what, it's easier that way for me to not question these things because I get a structure because often it's the idea of
Yeah.
the structure around you. So how was it for you?
Honestly, growing up, I felt like you couldn't question it. It was, you had to accept everything the way it was given, or if you questioned it, that's sending you to hell, right?
Hmm.
And there was this deep fear of hell in me, and I'm like, I'm not going to hell, like I just don't want to do that. So if it just means I can't question something, okay, it didn't bother me. Like I didn't see that as losing anything on my side. Like I didn't see that as my own sovereign ability to do things, right? Like to me, we were the rules of this, and I wasn't thinking of it like that, but it was more like the rules here are, you have to believe this, and you can't question it. Faith is what, belief without sight, without seeing.
Mm,
So
So
yeah, it wasn't until I
yeah.
was late 20s until I maybe even started, or not, maybe mid 20s until I started questioning things.
so what caused you to begin to question it? And there must be something that you've been through and you were like, mm-mm, that's not it.
Honestly, I think moving away from my family and being on my own gave
Yeah.
me the space to kind of start thinking about things in a different way. Um, and then I just started reading like just books, and like just kind of deep, like Stephen Hawkins and Richard Dawkins, and I was like, wow, okay, it can't just be, so I didn't necessarily move away from it entirely, but I opened myself up to, there has to be more than this, just this,
Mm.
and threw away the idea that if you question something, you're going to hell. I was like, okay, that's just ridiculous. That makes no sense. I'm going to throw that one out. And that was my, yeah, beginning
So
there.
so how you decided to read these books? Because you don't read these books by coincidence. They're particularly
You
good.
don't. You really don't.
Could you explain these books? Actually,
You
it would be
don't.
interesting for you to
It,
explain.
You don't really stumble. It's not a stumble. It's not like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Stephen
you gotta look
Hawkings
for it.
And I'm not
walking down the
I
aisle.
like historical fiction. That's what I'm reading, like give me a good
Oh.
story. Like, so it was, There was a period of time where I'm trying to even remember. Like I was here. Like it had been a few years that I'd been here, and I think I had realized, oh, I've never really like questioned these things, and just went to the bookstore, and that's kind of what it might have been. I think I saw an interview with Richard Dawkins, and I was like, that sounds right. Like I don't, like that doesn't seem evil. Like it was one of these things where I like it's my first time exposed to
Yeah.
like the deep science part, or not first time, but being aware and paying attention and being intentional at that time.
Mm.
I can't tell. It was just put it on my path at that time, and I was like, all right, let me do this, and like learning about kind of the universe. Again, you learn you learn that, and then now you come back to, all right, now let's keep questioning. Let's not accept everything.
Yeah.
But I've always liked the stars. I've always been really like drawn to looking at stars, and um I don't really get to see them that well, like in the suburbs or in the cities. So like when you're
Mm.
out like in the mountains, I remember there was once I was first time I was in Ethiopia with my family. I was like 20, and we were out by like this lake, and I've never seen that many stars in the sky. Like it felt fake, and it was like, wow, this is what we don't see. And
Mm.
then I got like, I don't know, just kind of stuck, came back to me later, and I went with it.
So, how were you when it comes to? Did you go down the route of like meditation, only shadow work? Like, y-
Yeah,
well, I remember when that was like me just unpeeling a little
yeah,
bit and just saying,
at a
okay,
time,
I'll
yeah.
have another look. Like, where was your comfort zone with that? Was that more like,
Yeah, the
where
next,
did you find
yeah.
your next foot in
It
that you
took
were
a
like,
while.
hmm,
It was like from the time I started shadow work, maybe about a year and later, then would start meditating, or I started to, and my therapist was suggesting that I do this, and I'm like, "Ah, I just can't, and I would try, like I just can't do it. Like I would maybe sit there for a few minutes and then completely, like I was an overthinker, so it was
yeah,
like couldn't turn off the brain. So it took about a year to like really get into doing that. But once I really started doing it,
mm,
it like I connected to it, and now like I can sit there for an hour, and like there's a feeling, like I can't explain it. It's like it's a whole body thing. Versus for me, it's more body than
yeah,
visual or anything. And it's so funny because when we're talking about your different clairs, I'm like, I'm definitely like I feel things more than, and I'm
feel
like, once I tapped,
sentient.
yeah, yeah. And I think I'm also very visual, but the feeling part is what comes up almost immediately.
Oh, it's
Um,
beautiful. And it's
and
good
yeah,
that you noticed that. Like,
right. Well, I
it's
hadn't for the longest. I just recently noticed that a few
okay.
weeks ago. Yeah,
Oh, but I was actually thinking about how you navigate now, because
yeah,
life, you get ups and downs, doing whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
How
yeah.
do you navigate that with like what you've learned? Because it's not going to stop. Like life be
No,
life in. How do
always.
you use like what you've learned now to deal with it? And do you find there's a difference to how you dealt with things before and how you deal with things now?
No, yeah. No, I think big difference, right? I think before I would always try to control situations.
Mm,
So I would have to come up with a solution with multiple different, options here, and whatever this issue was, it could, like nothing, it could be an emotional thing, and I'm like, all right, what's the solution to this thing? And I think now I'm just more present, and I just kind of like let things be. But I think it was like a 4-year progression for me, right?
mm,
Starting with therapy, and then the shadow work, and then meditation. And I think the thing that really kind of turned the dial a lot for me was connecting with a medium and connecting with my ancestors, which was also something that was like sold to me as evil and from the devil. You don't do that, right? So
Do you mind to talk about it or share some
no, I
stuff?
would love
Like,
to.
because
Yeah,
that seems
that was big for me.
that's a
Yeah.
doorway. That is the
Huge.
doorway. Like
Yeah.
from going to like I've never had a reading to having your first reading is a shift.
It
How
really
was that?
was.
How was that shift for you? Like,
Surprisingly, like I really latched onto it quickly. And I was coming from this very like logical, like everything has to make sense space. But little things had gotten me here. And then it was the medium. When I talked to her, she's like, okay, the way I do things is you don't tell me anything, and whoever shows up, I'll talk to you, and they, it's real because there'll be things that no one, like, there's no way I would know. I'm like, okay, cool. So I had like zero expectations. I didn't know who was going to show up. Haven't really like lost too many people in my life.
mm,
That, which is a blessing. And it wasn't like, there was a few like family members, and I was like, I don't know who's going to show up. And it was my grandfather, my mom's dad. um and like he lived with us for like 5 years, when I was
mm,
about 10. But other than that, I didn't really know him. Like, we didn't really have a relationship. He lived in Ethiopia and didn't like it here, so he didn't come visit very often. Outside of that one trip, he hated America, so he was just, or he didn't, he liked being there, So I didn't really know him, so I was really surprised. Like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And he brought so much. And I was in this space in my life. I worked in a job. I was pretty successful. Like, I worked at a university. I did like finance and operations stuff, and I had been doing it for so long, and
mm.
that was just kind of like my life. And I didn't question it, and I didn't enjoy it, but it wasn't hard and it was easy. And I like the people sometimes, and so it was one of these things where, to me, I felt like my destiny was to have to work a boring 9 to 5 job for the rest of my life. And what I wanted to do was break that for my kids. Like, I just wanted to make sure I set them up so they didn't have to like be in the same fate I was in. But I didn't see it as an option for myself to not live that life. And this is like almost 3 years ago at this point.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah, so it was a while. And at that point I was like, oh, okay, he was bringing up things about like possibilities for me that I had completely discounted or thrown out. And like had this vision that when, as he was saying, and I'm like, I was like, she's sharing it with me, I'm like, it connected in a way like I had never even, it was like, yes, this feels right, yes. And I just kind of leaned into it at that point. And then after that, I got super deep into the spiritual stuff, like finding readings and like watching videos, and do the things like where I'm like, oh my god, this sounds like it was for me. Then I started reading like books by like shamans and like different ways to like connect with your like auric self, and with the
Yeah.
chakras, were like, so I really dive deep into like that end of it, and just trying to learn, because I didn't know any of this stuff. Like, it was all new to me. So I spent like a year doing that while I was still working. And I was like thinking about this like life that I envisioned in that session. And I'm like trying to get to that life, but I'm still in this job I hate. I'm
Yeah.
still like, I feel like my soul, I'm not doing anything that feels purposeful or fulfilling in this part of my life. I'm still putting up with situations I hated, that I didn't want to be a part of. And I was just waiting for things to change. Like, I was doing these like manifestation things, whatever, and I was just waiting in like this kind of space of desperation for things to change. And then just almost like exactly a year later from having that first session, I like realized I gotta like change myself before it can actually happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave my job. Like, I had been there for about 20 years, so I could like technically retire. So I was like, I'm retiring. And it was like maybe September, and I told my boss, say like right away, like the next week, because I didn't want to like sit on it. And he was surprised, try to like talk me out of it,
Yeah.
because like it was such a chill job. Like, I could, like, I had a good team. It wasn't hard. It made really good money. I'm also like, I have my kids. I'm a single mom here. So like it gave me flexibility. It was like everything you needed to sustain the life that I like created. But it was like I was stuck there.
How did that because I know when you take decisions like that in any big area of your life or what's considered big areas of our lives, people got opinions, right? Family
Right.
members. How did that go? Because that's a whole, you're doing what now?
Exactly. It
Uh,
was
yeah.
interesting. Yeah. And I think it was such a shock for everyone because it's so not my like nature to take risks like this. Like I'm not the type of person that like does this kind of thing.
Mm,
And I remember I was really not looking forward to having to like tell people because it made sense to me and like I just didn't want to have to like explain it.
yeah.
And it wasn't like I didn't even have like a real fleshed out plan of what the next step would be. Like I think I had given myself a few like justifications that made sense. So I could there was still a part of me that was like, okay, we can't do something that can like harm you or your kids, and like you have to be responsible in that way. So I had some like plans, and I think in the back of my mind I was like, if anything, I can come back to work. Like it's not a big deal. Like I can get another job. So I like
Mm-hmm.
had that as my backup. But everyone was just kind of shocked and like really just didn't know what to say and was like, okay, we'll support you, I guess.
So, well, I
Yeah,
guess you worked for a long time before, so I guess they
yeah,
probably thought, at the end of the day, maybe she wants a break, because I think a lot of people equate
yeah,
that as wanting a break, and then they may
maybe,
potentially go back.
yeah,
I was going to ask then, what's your definition of success now? Because I'm sure it changed since.
yeah. I would say just doing what you want and only doing what you want, you know, enjoying life. That's it. And having the things in your life so you're not stressed about it and you can just enjoy it and just live it, being right here, right in this present, and not having to think about the future because you're so you're so confident in what you're in and what is going to happen for you, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. There's a lot of freedoms that come with
Mm.
being retired
Right.
early or working from home or whatever,
Right. Right.
or leading an alternative lifestyle when it comes to your occupation.
Exactly. Exactly.
However you want to put it, right?
Yeah.
What freedoms have you enjoyed from this shift? Because
Yeah.
it's a shift. What
It
freedoms have you
is.
enjoyed? Yeah.
And I'll say it took me a while to get to the point of enjoying it. I think immediately it was this shock and I'm like, what did I do? And I felt like it was this huge shock to my system and I felt like I was threatening like the future of my life, my kids' life, all this, and like I couldn't allow myself to like enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that took and I think I was trying to like avoid dealing with that and trying to like fake my way into no, this is great, I love it, whatever. And it took a little while, and I think part of it was I still like I had started this consulting firm with my cousin and we were doing that,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew I couldn't do both, and I figured, that was the justification I used. I'm like, okay, I can just lean into that, and that could just be what we do. And when we initially started it, it was more very much leaning into like our backgrounds, like, right, like I have the operations finance background, HR, so I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
can help people with that stuff. But once I got out of like the job and I wasn't doing that every day and trying to do it in this other space, I'm like, no, I'm not trying to like replicate that. And it took me a long time to realize I was just creating the thing I didn't want for myself again in this other space. But also now I have this layer of insecurity and like not knowing if I'm going to have, like how long, whatever, like all the stuff you're told to worry about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it took a long time to not like, I would say like I retired in January of last year and maybe not until like October could I really lean into it and just there are things I enjoyed having my time.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one. I enjoyed having the ability to like take naps when I needed to or not stress about things. And, like I go to my kids' school every Friday and I wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. Well, when I was
Yeah.
working full time. So there were like physical things where I'm like, I do enjoy this, but I think like at like a nervous system level, I was still in that. It was a transition to like not be in that past, that old way. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked
Yeah.
because, well, we asked because it is one of those things that when you pull yourself from doing like the normal thing attached to
Right.
that area of your life, it is not just an action, it's like it's visceral. So it hits
Right.
your nervous system.
Right.
And at some point, depending on how you take it or depending on how you want to take it, you can go into shock about it.
Yeah.
Because what you described there sounds like the first 2 years of me doing homeschooling. Like,
Oh,
I
wow.
think you
Yeah.
did brilliant. That's a brilliant.
10
You were like,
months.
oh, 10 months. I was like,
That
she
was
is a champ.
all right.
I'm not gonna lie, because I was like a year in and still like, I've ruined their lives. I know I have. It would
I
just
mean,
come
I
back
think
and
there
haunt
it
me like,
lingers sometimes, but I'm like now I can like no. And I think
no.
what's happening now is I'm really liking what I'm doing. Like I'm enjoying how I'm spending my days. So
Yeah,
it doesn't creep back in because I'm not trying to like fill my days with things I thought I had to do.
it's beautiful.
So
It
thank
seems
you.
that
Yeah.
you have an ability to adapt quickly, even growing up, like the way you were able to immerse yourself, even in the religion and amongst the
Mm.
family, and the idea that, well, you know what, I'm not allowed to questions, so that's not going to limit me. You
Yeah.
still have the ability to, no matter what the situation is,
Mm,
and that's an important quality because it allows you, despite the adversity, to move on and actually
Mm.
open new ways for yourself. So when you describe how it happened for you, yeah, that ability to adapt is very, very important.
yeah,
So I think it's pretty much how you did it so quickly, and now you're enjoying, because a part of manifesting is that is, can you be in your
Yeah.
joy despite what it
Exactly.
means. So yeah, um, so since the shift, because I guess
Hmm.
it's a massive shift, have
Yeah.
you experienced like an increase in how can I call it, spiritual signs and during dream state,
Oh
or
my God.
did that allow
connections.
you
Yeah,
to
connection.
Yeah.
expand that aspect? Just the fact that you've adapted quickly, you've
Mhm.
embraced it, and then
Yeah.
now you're moving forward. So how was it
A
for you?
100%. I mean, I think I've felt very different. And I think starting off with the meditation and being able to kind of like get yourself in this feeling of just feeling good. Like I don't know, maybe it's just the feeling of presence. So I've been
Mm,
able to like I can induce that now without necessarily having to like meditate or I don't know, maybe you are always meditating or something, but it's that comes on easier for me. Dreams have been a big one, like a big one, like having lucid dreams and like getting things through dreams like that went on like that exploded for me. And it's crazy because before I used to have a lot of reoccurring dreams that I hate. Like I'd have one where like my teeth were falling out, and I've had for years and years, like since I was in like high school. And it would just be I'm like just regular degular, you're sitting around and then like I'm starting to spit out my teeth.
whoa.
And that just wouldn't like that dream, like I honestly like I think the last time I had that dream was about a year ago.
Do you know
And it
what?
was
Sympathetically, as you say that, I just had like a sharp pain in my tooth.
oh no.
Just the idea of it was like, ooh.
And it wasn't a painful thing. It was just this like, "Bleh, oh my God, all my teeth are gone." And I would like in my dream, like be worried that like I'm gonna be so ugly now. I have no teeth.
Oh, never that. This is the
I
thing
hate
with,
that dream. Yeah.
yeah, reoccurring dreams. They
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like that's when I look at them, I think, oh, that's like a running overlay to our dream
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
I feel like
Something. Yeah.
it doesn't feel true. And it's just like, remember what, like, remember back in the day when they didn't have anything, if they didn't have anything to put on a channel before the streaming thing, if they didn't
It's
have
the
anything to put on
yeah.
the channel, they would just have reruns. I felt
Oh
like it
yeah,
was like, it's 3 o'clock
yeah,
now. I'm gonna put on reruns of Friends, reruns
maybe.
of whatever, and
Yeah,
that dream is just like, because this, it's like the international. It's either
yeah.
naked in front of talking to people, or spitting
The
out your
tea,
teeth,
that's a big
or
one. Yeah,
falling, or
yeah,
punching and can't actually hit, like no punches are landing. There's
yeah,
so many different
yeah,
reoccurring
yeah.
dreams.
The only other one I would have consistently was I'm in a situation I need to yell and I don't have a voice or I can't yell.
Yeah.
That's another popular
Well,
one.
someone in the comment section,
Yeah.
had the same dream,
Yeah.
exactly the same dream.
Agar, yeah.
About the
Oh,
teeth. Hey,
It's
it is what it
popular.
is. So yeah, it's very popular.
it's I hate, and it feels so real. And it was it's like to the point where I was like once I started like learning about like OBEs and like astral travel, that kind of stuff, I was like, oh, okay, I get these, like I hate these dreams. Maybe I can use this as like an anchor to remember. And it wouldn't work for me. But
um,
now my dreams have gotten much more vivid and lucid and like visceral, like I can feel them. Like I had a dream last night and it felt so good and it felt like life and it was just this beautiful life I was living and I loved it and I woke up feeling that same way. So I'm
love those
like,
ones.
Yeah, that's
that
great.
feeling of like the dream kind of blends into, and it may just be, maybe that's the vibration that I'm at now or something, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
I see the correlation for sure, even
yeah,
in other people when they talk to me about their dreams. I see the correlation when they do make those shifts, when they make those,
yeah,
when they take that leap of faith in
yeah,
themselves,
yeah,
is like correlated. How are
yeah.
you when it comes to astral travel, OBEs? Like, how do you take that, and how was that even introduced to you?
That's so funny. OB, like I had never heard of this stuff. I take that back. Right when I had started going into like the esoteric stuff, I came
Hmm.
across astral travel, and it was a woman doing like these meditations that would get you to like astral travel. And this is like right after I had met with that medium, so I was like super excited about my ancestors because I had never even thought of them as being. I never thought of like, oh, I have these guides that are here. So I was like, I want to like talk to them. And someone was like, oh, it's so easy, you just sit there and you ground yourself into the ground and then you like project yourself up into wherever and then you'll see them. And they made it seem like this is like everyone does it and it's do that and it would happen, and it wasn't happening for me. So I was like, all right, I just need to find like a way in. And then like I had found this video, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this one night. And I tried it once and it didn't work. And after that, I was like, all right, whatever. Maybe it's just not a thing. It's not for me. And I just like let it go. And then about a year and a half later, this is just like I had already left my job. This is like last April, May. I had come across like Darius Wright. His videos were popping up on my thing. And I have never seen it before. And he's very distinct looking. And I was just never watching the videos. And then once randomly I was like, all right, this guy keeps popping up, let me just look at it. And I looked at it and it was first time hearing about OBs, but I remembered right back to that, like, oh, this is a real thing. So I just started watching the like testimonials and was like, oh, this is like a real thing. And I was on the right track. I should have just stayed doing the thing I was trying. So I got really into like watching NDE and OBE videos and like seeing
Mm,
this the similarity. And it was at that point where I was like, oh, you can actually confirm things for yourself. And
yeah.
like, I want to know, like, I want to experience that. Like, it seemed really cool. It seemed like my next thing and it felt really aligned. So like I took those classes, or not classes, but watched the videos to learn how to do the thing, like to get yourself into sleep paralysis and then like pop out. And it just would never work for me. And like I never
Hmm.
experienced sleep paralysis before, so that was a new sensation. But I would be laying in bed for like 2-3 hours, and I would feel the tingles in my body, but it would nothing, or I fall asleep. And then I was doing that maybe for like 2 months, and was like, all right, I'm
Mm.
going to stick with it for however long it takes. And then I transitioned to doing them, practicing that like early mornings. And once I did that, it helped. Like I was starting to see like more progression in that space. And the first like one I had that was really profound came out of a dream.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it a reoccurring dream or was it just
It
like a, was it different?
it was different. It wasn't a recurring dream. Um and that was something also like like they had said when you're in a dream, try to like recognize that you're in a dream, but I had never been able to do that. And the dream was I was like I had just taken my daughter to a concert like the week before, and it was her first concert, so it was like this big thing for us. And we were back there, but it was a little different. And I everything was just very vivid, and I just remember like noticing things in the dream like differently.
Mm.
And then some guy picks up my daughter and runs like out the building and has to go down these stairs. And when I do that, I'm chasing after him, and then all of a sudden I have like an iron in my hand, and I like throw this iron at him to kind of like stop him, and it's like going in slow motion. And then I like, oh, I had a feel. I was like, oh, this is a dream. Like it was almost like my biggest fear was faced, and as I was like in that moment, like I don't know, something happened, and I realized it was a dream. So like I get to the bottom of the stairs, and like I command my consciousness,
Mm.
and I see the guy holding my daughter like go to the right, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, and I go to the left because like it's a dream. And as they do that, like they disappear, like they dissipate like into the whatever, into the ether. And I'm just
Yeah.
walking down the street, and like it's like it looks like maybe like a city, like a DC maybe, or New York, maybe not New York, but like a city with like bigger buildings. But it was really nice,
Mm.
very like bright and like amazing. Everything looked really pretty. And then I like turn and I see a Taco Bell. And when I see that, I'm like back in my body. I don't know why.
Do you like Taco Bell?
You
Do
know what
you
I
enjoy
do?
it?
I
What
do.
free time to eat?
It's like the only junk food I really like. It's
And
that, and I don't know why. Like that's like a
you were
shame that you
hungry, I
hold on
think.
to. Maybe. But like I'm back in my body, and the minute I'm back in like no, like the moment I'm back in my body, I feel my body rise up, my soul body.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was like very tingly, very like, like I don't know, it felt magical. It wasn't painful or anything. It wasn't scary. And I get out and I'm by the bed, and I'm like, I look a little bit, but I didn't want to get pulled back in. So I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to go. And I go down my hall, and I put a mirror at the end of my hall because my
Hmm.
whole plan was hop in a mirror and it'll take you wherever you need to go. Like I didn't have an intention for like what I wanted to see. I was like, I don't just whatever I
Yeah.
need to go. And I like go into the mirror, like I put my hand in the mirror and I feel I'm like, okay. So I like climb in the mirror, and it's just like gooey jelly material, and I'm just kind of in there and I'm waiting. And then I come out in this like random apartment or house or something that I've never been in. And then as I come out, it's weird because like I feel some like goo in my eyes that I have to take off, and it was really annoying. So I was like, oh, maybe this isn't a dream because it's not supposed to,
This is
or not an
annoying.
OBE. Yeah, right. Because this is annoying me. So then I just kind of walk around and it's so funny. This is like almost a year. I mean, I don't know, maybe like 6, 7 months now, and I still
Mm.
remember it so vividly, like so clearly. Like there were two
Yeah.
pianos in that room. It was like old antiques everywhere. It was super cluttered. And then I like walk down and I see some guy washing some dishes in like this galley kitchen. He didn't see me. I didn't know who he was. I
Mm.
just keep walking. I'm like, okay. Like I had no idea where I was. And then like I see like a family room, and there was this big sectional, and there was a guy sleeping on it. And then his like body double was sitting at like his head, like right by his head. And then the body double by his head sees me, and we just know each other, have no idea who this person is, and we just kind of like embrace and say something like telepathically or something. I have no idea what it was, but I could just feel the energy
Oh,
of it. And then I
yeah.
wake up. Yeah, and then I wake up in my bed. So
That is
Yeah,
lovely.
that's great.
yeah.
OBE.
It,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's
So
like,
it was the first one, isn't it?
was that your like first big
That was my
memorable
first
one?
one. That was my first one
Awesome.
ever. And I wasn't sure if it was an OBE at first.
What
And I
made you
woke
feel
up,
that way?
I don't know. I was like, was that just a really vivid dream? And I went through, like, I felt all of it and I knew it wasn't, but it was just something about it was just too magical. I don't know. It just felt like it was too much if I can like,
It's the
if that makes
mind.
sense. Yeah.
It's the mind, the running programs that just trying to, because it can't understand, so it's trying
Yeah.
to make sense of it. And by trying to make sense of it, I think he's probably trying to tell you it's a dream as opposed to an OBE, but it's definitely an OBE. And that's
It
why
was
you
definitely an
felt,
OB. Yeah. Yeah.
lifting off of your body. And yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
The
Yeah.
mere fact that you were like walked in, someone was sleeping, and then their soul body was
Just
chilling,
waiting,
just
chilling. And it was
waiting
right by
around.
him. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, wouldn't his soul body get pulled back into his body? But
Nah. And
no.
then
Yeah.
the mere fact that like you embraced him and
Yeah.
your souls know each other is really beautiful. I
Yeah.
know you say that you can't remember what you said, but it was like a telepathic knowing that.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Do you
Yeah.
recognize? Oh no, you did say you didn't recognize the city. Um,
Mm-mm.
was d- was there any names or was there anything else around it, or was it just like not that what you went through was an enormous?
Right.
I'm just trying to be like,
No.
was there anything else?
The
Because
the
like
only thing,
that's
it felt
awesome
like
to
it
see
was,
someone's body like that.
yeah, it felt like it was in the Northeast United States, like maybe Boston or I don't know why I'm saying this, but like it had it had like a old home that's been modernized feel.
Feel you.
It was very physical. It was like like I remember being there as if I was at like a friend's house, like that's how like vivid the memory of it is. And I can't, like, I have a hard time remembering my dreams after like a few hours, or like sometimes I'm like by the end of the day I'm like, what, like I know it was a great dream but I don't remember what, unless I write it down or something, which I
Yeah.
try to do more now because they come out so crazy. So I'm
Did
like,
you
let me just
did you look back to see your own body, or you didn't get a chance
I
to
did
do that?
I did slightly. And I remember seeing kind of like my foot, so I kind of like did a half look back, and I was like, I don't want to get pulled back in because this is the first time. Like I had been trying this for like 2 months now, and it was the first time anything had happened. So I was like, I don't want to risk it. Like I was like, I can check that next time. Let me go do what I need to go do.
Um, since then, have you had any other experiences, or have you delved more into like your dream state and developing like what your dreams can do for you as well? Like,
I've
Yeah.
had a few more experiences, like maybe two that felt really like a OBE, and they're always coming through that dream state. And then I've had a few where I'm like, that could have been a really lucid dream. I don't know, that could have been an OBE. Um,
yeah,
but I don't necessarily like try, like I was trying really hard for that first 2 months, and then maybe for about like a month afterwards, so maybe for like a 3-4 month period I was like doing this like almost every night or every
yeah,
like morning chance like I would get the kids off to school, and then I'm like, all right, here's my hour of practicing, like trying to get back to the OBE stuff, and it just really wasn't progressing. So I was like, all right, I just need to kind of like step away from it. And once I did that, I think that's when my dreams started getting really
proper.
like proper. Yeah. And I would start writing them down, and then I would take them to chat GPT to understand it, understand them, which was so helpful, like so helpful.
Yeah,
And I
I
would see
know.
things in like
Yeah.
different ways. Yeah.
Do you find now that your dreams are more there for you than before? I know that you kind of like accepted it as something quite random, like I'd have random dreams or I'd have random
Hmm.
experiences where like, do you have any more of these looping dreams, or have they kind of like really lessened and more of these kind of
Yeah.
other dreams have stepped forward with a more informative, more
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
connecting?
I was having one loop, and I had shared this with you guys, but it was like this looping dream where I would end up in like a bathroom, like a public bathroom that was really disgusting. and I really need to go. And every stall I'd go into was like, it's not like, nope, nope, it's not worth it, not worth it. And then I would just wake up like, oh God, I'm so glad that was a dream. But yeah, I actually finally put that one into like chat and work through it. And since I've done that, I haven't had that dream again. And
What
it's
did
been
chat
like,
say?
it was a lot about like letting go of like old things and being able to release and not hold on to stuff, and needing to be okay with like environments you can't necessarily control. And it was like, wow, that felt really
That'll
helpful.
do
and
it.
and I haven't like, and that's been like, and I was having that dream at least like twice a week.
Oh wow,
So
you with the reoccurring dreams. Do you
yeah,
know I take reoccurring dreams? Not that I've reoccurring dreams is something I've never experienced. It's stuff that I've been around people who've had reoccurring dreams, reoccurring nightmares, so I understood it from
hmm,
that point of view.
yeah,
But the way your ones be working is if your whatever your higher self is telling you or your inner voice is telling you, it's persistent. It's
yeah,
like that. It will
yeah,
bug you until you get the
yeah.
message. Once you get the message, it will lay off.
It does. It really does. And I think I just
That's
ignore
so
it. I just
loving.
kind of put up with, like, I can put up with things. So like, I just need to stop putting up with things and just let me deal with this, and then it'll go away.
So how these experiences change your perception of reality? Now, because obviously before you get an OBE,
Yeah.
you want to get to experience an OBE because you're like, okay, I want to know more if there's even something else that, on the other side or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how is it for you now?
Well, I think it's allowed me to just question everything, you know. And I think at the same time of falling into the OBE stuff, I also started like randomly getting videos of my algorithm about like conspiracy theories, and like flat earth and all these things, and it's like things I immediately would write off. And even I
Mm,
was doing that when I would first start saying these things, but they were just coming like in more and more like places, and like I was like, all right, maybe these are just things I need to like consider, and not just use like my old narratives around, oh that's just crazy, oh that's not right, or that doesn't align with science. And I was like in a higher ed setting for 20 years, so it was like very, you believe certain things are true, and it's almost like religion when you think about it, because you
yeah, it
can't
can be.
question certain things. It's like, if we've confirmed it and it's this and this is what the consensus is, and that's all academia is. It's just people agreeing with each other. Right? It's
Yes,
just,
Yeah.
yes. It's an
even the way
axiom
they
based.
write papers and they publish, it's like, I have
Peer
to,
reviewed.
my peer review, my peers agree with
Yeah.
me, so
Yeah. And I was
it's
like,
a club.
oh,
Yeah.
it's a club and you're not in it. It's one of those ones.
So would you
And I
say
saw
the
how they
idea
let people in. So yeah,
Right?
would you say the idea
yeah.
of existing on the other side has definitely sealed the deal for you?
In what way? Like, sealed the
In the
deal?
way that basically everything has to be up for questions.
Oh yeah, 100%. The fact that I could like leave my body and have that experience and have it be so physical. And so like I had one where I came out the window, not the mirror,
Mm.
and I was in some big box store, and like fell into like where the carts are, but it was padded, and there was this orange foam, and I remember tearing off a piece of the orange foam and putting it in my pocket to see if it would be in my pocket when I woke up in my bed. And it wasn't, but I remember the feeling. I remember doing it, and like, so
You're
like these
still,
things are so real.
I love the fact that it's like there's still that scientist within you who
Let me run a
wants
little
the
experiment.
proof.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
taken the sample.
Nothing was in my pocket. I will say nothing was in my pocket when I woke up, but that would have.
So
How?
what's
So
sorry.
go on.
So what was the
Sorry.
You
conclusion
go.
then for you?
Oh, oh, this
Oh, so
scientist
yeah.
wants the conclusion. Go on. What did your findings? What did you get in your
I will
findings?
say my observations were that that experience of ripping it out was as real as if the thing was in my pocket. I didn't need to have the thing in my pocket to know that that experience was real.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have to trust what your senses are almost telling you, and not just your physical ones, but like obviously like in on the other side you have access to way more than we have here, and
Mm.
just trusting that that is a thing, like I'm glad I did that, because it wasn't the fact that there was something in my pocket. There wasn't something in my pocket. It was the fact that I like remember the sensations of doing that, and trust that, and I'm leaning into that.
So, how
Okay.
would you say this has changed when it comes to your? Because it changes sometimes with people, and sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't have to. It's different ways for different people. But how has this discovery into this side of like who you are and what your abilities and what you can do and what's
Hmm.
available for you, how's that changed your relationship with you balancing your fears on this side of life, like your day-to-day fears, like
Yeah.
fear of being hurt or passing
Yeah.
away or panicking or
Yeah.
something happening to a loved one? How has that shifted, if at all?
So much. I think I lived in so much fear. Like I like to the point where I didn't even like being in the house by myself. Like I just needed another like human in the house with me to like I was like every possibility, like I would play out every possibility. Also with like my kids, like always in constant fear for them, and
Mm,
now that's like there are things that have happened in my life where I'm like, I'm always protected. I've never not been protected. I've never like I've been really lucky and not to have experienced a lot of like trauma,
mm,
and a lot of the things you hear, all the things I was scared about never happened to me. Like it was all just living in my head. So now it's like why I don't need that anymore. And like there was like this one incident, like I don't know, this is maybe 2020, 2021.
mm,
And we were at my parents' house in California when they're in San Diego. This was during COVID, and like I had this incident where like the kids would always go to the park at this one time, and I like didn't always go, and there was something in me that was like go, like just go, and I'm like all right, and I was just having the best day, and I was just like the sun was shining, I had my music in my ears, and I was like walking to the park. It wasn't that far away, and there was this thing where this guy standing on one corner with like this hat and glasses, looks crazy. And then this white like van pulls up to me, and I just run into the street. I'm like, I don't know what this is. Like something in me said just, and I'm just following what's in me, and I just run in the street. And like it was, I almost got hit by another car, but like something happens, that guy is gone, this and that. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, they were gonna like take me,
yeah.
or they were here to take my kids because they're on this walk every day, and I never go out. So and that like that really rattled me. Like I like the fear of that moment still kind of sits with me sometimes.
Mm,
And it was recently, maybe a week ago, where I realized no, that was just like I've always been protected. Like the fact that that moment is still sitting with me is just the reminder of like you're gonna be good, period. Like I maybe I needed to go through that to like see physically that I would be good, like.
yeah.
And that was a whole shift change for me. So like at this point, like knowing what's there, like I don't really have a fear. I mean, it
Yeah,
pops
the
up here and
repercussions.
there. It just doesn't feel, even the whole like not working a traditional job, and
Yeah.
like doing the things I like to do versus the things that make money, or that are deemed successful or whatever, like that. I'm like enjoying that to the fullest right now, and that took a while to get there,
Yeah,
but
lean
it's
in.
paying off so much. Right? So
Yeah.
So how do you discern now truth from illusion, and what is your meaning of truth now, knowing what you know?
mm, that's a good question. I think I'm just open to the possibility that anything could be anything, could be true. What I think is true doesn't really matter. Like I think you just experience it, like in terms of like I don't think there's anything that can happen that would surprise me at this point. And like I think it would be at like, okay, like we found out that the government's had aliens for the last what 60 years, and this is just okay now. Like this is not what we were told. Like so much happening, like with the Epstein files, and like a lot of that stuff was coming out for me. Like I was finding these things last summer,
Mm,
and I'm like, as that stuff was kind of coming into my like space, and I'm like learning about all the secret society, all that, like all the stuff that's coming out now, I was like running into that this summer and
mm,
having to like reconcile that, and like being so mad and sad then, and now I'm just like, it's like I'm glad everyone's seen it, like it's not like it's happening right, like this is what's been happening for hundreds and hundreds of years, and
yeah.
it's now coming to like, so it's just being exposed. So like I think there were just too many things that have been super shocking for me in the last 6 months, where like now I'm like, if a being were to show up right here, I'm like, all right, cool. What's next? Like, let's figure that out. So
I think what's beautiful about this is like you've taken leaps of faith with yourself now and with your inner knowing,
yeah,
and it's paid off and
yeah,
shown you like in real time
yeah,
the joy and the alignment that can bring to you, like,
right.
and the safety it brings. And
It does.
safety
Yeah,
is a big one,
yeah,
especially for like experiencing like being a female walking around in this
right.
world, this
Yeah,
paradigm. And for the most part, you can assume that you are, if you read only into the story that we're the only ones that are victimized, you can feel that a lot around you, like as you just move through daily life.
hmm,
But it kind of opens you up to that whole entire reality that if we all just listen to that voice, we would find ourselves in and out of a lot of situations that are like,
that's
okay,
it.
I see that. I
So
see that.
why like sit around worrying about them if you know you're good? If you're listening to that voice.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
that. Like before, I was super anal about my making sure all the doors were locked, making sure the alarm was on, and like I'm still not leaving my doors unlocked over at night. But like if I leave, like it doesn't, nothing, like it's not the same. Those same fears are just like not there anymore.
Feel you.
And I'm
I really
like,
do.
what am I worried about? Like nothing
This
ever
isn't,
happened. And it's like I'm gonna believe that. And like it's funny because my mom, like I've said that, my mom would say something like, "Oh, don't test the devil or don't tempt the devil and this and that." And I'm like, so we're not supposed to speak good into our lives because I'm like,
yeah.
how backwards is that? Like, no, I'm gonna speak that I'm good because then because I have always been good and I will be good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And isn't
Absolutely.
that part of the whole manifesting what you want? And isn't that
yeah,
why we're so upset about everybody else's rituals? It's just that you know what I mean?
yeah,
It
we've
seems to be
taken our
working
own
for
rituals
them. They're
away.
using it
Yeah,
for
Mm.
BS, and you're
yeah.
upset because I want to use it to have a good, safe day. No, I'm not going to do that.
Or
I'm
Well,
not going to do that.
a
if
life
you,
that I enjoy. Like let
yeah, and
that.
if
I'm not
you're
harming
there,
anyone. I'm good.
if you adhere
Yeah,
to the laws of manifestation, and you saying, well, this is what, this is how I can see myself living my life from now on, you kind of forced to let go of these fears and these
right,
ideas and preconceived ideas just for the sake of not manifesting them ultimately.
right,
So
right.
yeah, so I guess we get into our final question. I'll let you ask.
Yeah.
All
So I
right.
will take you to our final question that we usually ask everyone
Okay.
is right now in your life, what do you feel about who we are and why we came here to experience this life as we do?
All right. So I think who we are, I think we're souls, right? And we're more than these bodies right now. I have my kids calling it their meat suits. And that's been a new thing for because like my son was like, no, I'm talking about my meat suit, mommy. I'm like, okay, not who you are. So I think we're souls. I think we're fractals of God. I think we're all connected, and we're all part of one, right? I think there was a oneness to everything before we got to the thing we're experiencing now. I think I think we're living in a simulation, and I think we are. It's our truth. It's all we remember. It's what we know. So, what if the fact that we call it doesn't matter what you call it? It's just
Yeah.
what we're in. I think we come here. I don't know. I don't know why. Like to have the experience of something, right? Like if you believe, this is just, we're all fractals of God, and God gets to experience, or source, or whatever you want to call it, gets to experience everything through everything we experience, then you're going to be going through a lot of stuff, right? um but I don't know. I think there has to be I think you come for a reason, like, I think there's a purpose for why we're here right now, and why I went through what I went through to get to where I am now, and
Mm.
how drastically different my life looks. Like, so different. And I don't know, it's just seeing that you have the ability to make your life look the way you want it to look, if you believe you can do that, or you can choose that you don't believe you can do that, and you get to experience that too. And I just, knowing that, I don't know why we wouldn't want to create the best possible version of this experience for ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
now that I know that, like, why I create everything, like, I create these things, like, no, I'm not creating that anymore. Like, whatever it is, and whatever tools, that come along my way to help create better, like, I'm gonna lean into them, because they're there for a reason, just like I'm always protected for a reason. So
Yeah.
I hope that answered the
Absolutely.
question. Yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, more than.
100%.
Okay.
More
Okay, cool.
than. I'm just letting you do your thing. That's beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. People
yeah.
will see you again and again because you are the producer of The Great Unlock and
Yeah.
you're a part
Also
of the
something I
community.
manifested. So I'm gonna say that stuff is real. Because I was just up in the chats. Like, let me not miss Sunday service. Awaken to joy. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
lovely. I
Yeah.
love, I really do love our community and I love the way it's
I
growing
really
and
do
I love
too.
the fact
Yeah.
that I get to be a part of this community and we get to just
Yeah.
share so much from different walks of life. Like I've
Yeah.
seen the chat out the corner of my eyes and I'm like, it's
I
not
I
Sunday.
forgot we
You
could see the
can't.
chat, and I forgot to look.
And
So
I was like, it's not Sunday. Stay focused.
Well, I see actually a beautiful comment. Gonna read it before we go. So I
okay.
sometimes feel that we all gonna miss this place, and that is why everything must be experienced. So we all
Mm,
from other side
yeah.
can
Can
go.
go. We'll
Yeah,
wait until it
we
comes
will go
through.
through. But basically, the beginning of that message is very
I get
yeah.
what
I
you're
can see
saying.
how we get nostalgic about this whole experience,
Yeah.
and you're right, Melekta. I mean, why
Yeah.
wouldn't we make this experience the
So
most
yeah.
awesome, best experience?
And like,
Yeah.
some
Absolutely.
people are like, I'm done with, like, I don't know if I can come in and do it this way from the beginning. I don't, it doesn't seem that bad.
I
Right.
know the beach is still beaching.
I
A
if I'm at the
morning
beach,
without an alarm is still a morning without an
a lot,
alarm.
right? And
You
you
know,
just
Literally.
the
get to
little
be in the
things.
sun and
Yeah.
eat good food and just be with
Be
people you
around.
love.
Yeah.
But I
Like,
knew what I knew now.
Good
I don't know, right?
vibes.
Like, I don't want to do
Oh
don't
my.
put me in a 9 to 5 again. Don't put me in, I don't want to be in an office ever again.
Right?
But put me on the beach, like, yeah, let's do that. Or maybe, we make a better version. Who knows? But maybe this is so good because we experience the bad at the same time,
Yeah.
the
We have something.
duality. Like, there's
Yeah.
something beautiful to duality. Like, it's, if you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to experience, like, appreciate and feel as
Yeah.
deeply as we do. So I'm okay
Yeah.
with it. We'll see what happens in the next 5 years. But I may not be done with this place. So
You
yeah,
and a lot of people, and I think we'll be
yeah,
here just trying to create as many great experiences as possible. Um,
absolutely,
until
yeah, and
until dot dot dot.
right,
Right.
exactly, exactly.
um,
Well, I'm signing up, so
okay.
count me in for that.
Um,
Yeah.
where can people reach out to you if they want to, other than in the community? Just if
I'm
you,
in the community.
yeah,
I have an Instagram, Musings of Remembrance. I can give it to you. You can put that in
yeah,
there. That probably, like, I have some of my writings on there.
mm.
That's another thing. Like, I used to write all the time when I was like younger and stopped doing that and then got back into it. I'm like, I love writing. Like, why did I stop writing? So, so
I
yeah, so
listen.
nothing like
It's beautiful.
major, just like my thoughts. That's it. And
It's beautiful.
that's as deep as
Um,
it goes. Yeah.
I will leave everything about Melekta in the description. And it's been lovely speaking to you. It's been lovely sharing this
Thank you.
conversation with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for coming
Melekta.
Thank
on.
you. Of course.
All right. Okay, everyone. Thanks for being here. And that was another episode. We will see you on Sunday and we will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Love.
Ciao.
Ciao.